guys.
Welcome to the Real and Raw with Tasha.
And Angela.
And we're so excited to be back for another episode.
Yes.
So excited. Um, we're going to get right into today's topic. This past 2 weeks have been really emotional for me. So if you hear me cry, no.
No, we're
It's
not
been
going to
very
have no
emotional
crying.
for me. This topic has been very emotional for me. Me and Angela, we discussed this topic in the past, and it was very heated. Heated with
I
love.
have dealt with this topic. It's part of my life, I should say. And it's
Really
very
part of my life. So
oh God.
go ahead.
Yeah, it's
Tell
very
our
touchy
friends
and
what
it's
the topic
very
is.
let's get into it.
Yeah. So what's the topic?
Okay, today's topic is it when you have children, is it important to meet your ex's significant other?
So when you have children, it's important to meet your ex's significant other. So
Yes.
you want to answer this question first, or you want me to answer it?
I could go over.
Oh,
It's up to, go ahead. Go. I need time
you have a lot to say, so I want
yes.
you have
Yes.
a lot to say, so I definitely want to give you that platform. I'm just going to speak on, for me, again, like I'm not experiencing that as of yet. Um, in the past week, there's some changes that happened in my separation where, again, we live together, but we happen to see certain things. We've been separated for 6 months. And, it just hit me that, my ex will possibly be dating in the future. And if that is the case, then it's a little bit more than just, oh, how are you going to feel if he dates someone, right? Because, like, again, we've been together for so long, I've never imagined him dating someone else. So
Right.
that hit me. That was my initial hit reaction. But then following after that was, oh my God, he's going to introduce, this female, this girl to my children. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when it hit me hard because I'm very particular about myself. Like I've always said, when it comes to if I start dating again, like my guy friend is not going to meet my kids unless he's almost about to put his ring on my finger for me to rematch,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I think that mothers are more passionate and more
We're more protective with our kids.
of who comes around their children.
Yes.
And I think that so for me, I never had any question. I'm like, oh, if I start dating, they're not gonna meet my kids, so he doesn't have anything to worry about. But I realized for one, I couldn't control what his timing is to when he would introduce the person he's with to my children. I don't have
Right.
control over it. Regardless, I can tell him, look, I don't think anybody should see our children, but he's going to do what he wants to do. We're not together anymore, right? So
Right.
he's going to consider my feelings. Um, so I think that it is important for me as being the mother of 4 kids for me to meet the other person because for one, I'm a nice person in general. So I
I
feel
feel like you too nice sometimes. And this is where we disagree
yes,
and agree.
and I feel
So
like I'm a nice person, and I feel like throughout this whole like decision to separate and move forward, I've always said that I wanted my husband to be happy, right? So if he found
right.
someone that can make him happy and give him all the things that I couldn't give him for whatever reason, then great, I'm happy. But I do need to protect my children and knowing who's around my children and that they're not going to harm my children or feel like
Yes.
jealous of my children.
I totally agree with you.
You find that women, especially in a new relationship, they want all the attention. They want all the time. They want all the
Yes.
attention. So then when the guy says, well, I have my kids this weekend, or I gotta go and pick my kids up or drop my kids off at school, or Tasha has an appointment, so I gotta get the kids from her house. Well, why can't she bring the kids here? Like the female starts having these negative vibes that they can put on to the man without the man realizing that those vibes are being put on him. So I feel like I would want to have like this conversation with the new woman, and instead of
Yes.
letting her know that, look, I let him go, right? Um, we're married. I know who he is, and I feel like he deserves better. And I would have that conversation with her. I would hope to have that conversation with her and hope that it's
Yeah.
positive.
Yes.
So I'm not going through it. So maybe my hoping is for the birds, but I would hope that we can sit and have a conversation and be cordial for my children's sake about the whole situation.
Right.
Now it's your turn.
Okay. So I guess this is one of those episodes that we are keeping it real and raw, right? So, from experience, I do feel it's important to meet, your ex's significant other, because once you have kids, you want to know who your kids are around, like you mentioned. You want to make sure your kids are safe. You want to make sure your kids are, being treated good, because there's a situation where, I'm gonna put me an example. My kid's father, he has a whole new relationship. So I never met his new current, significant other. Like, I never met her. So I feel like there was a point that she would come at me, I don't know, like crazy, weird, and just like completely disrespectful without even knowing me. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? I don't need to meet you anymore. Like, I don't even want to meet you anymore. Because at this point, like, if I do meet you, it's going to get ugly. Yeah. Because you have completely disrespected me to the point where, like, you really, like, called me out of my name and all this and that. And you have no clue what I'm about. You don't even know my maturity level. Like, you don't know nothing about me. You're just going by what my ex informed you, like told you. So I feel like people like that, like, you shouldn't even meet. You shouldn't even bother meeting. And this is where we kind of, go on and off. Me and you disagree.
Yeah, and this is where we disagree. And the thing is, the reason why I disagree with that, again, is because I'm just a very nice person. And I feel like there's a way to check somebody without checking them, right? But see, I think your situation is a lot different than my situation. So unless I'm in your shoes, I can't really tell you what to do or how to do it, right? Because my situation, like again, I was married to this guy, right? And we built a foundation for our family. We built a home for our family. Our children had this certain expectation because that's what we built for them. I think your situation is a lot different because you guys didn't live together. I think outside of just living together and building that home for the children, I think that he has not taken responsibility for being a father. So the difference between, my kid's father and your kid's father is that my kid's father, and interrupt me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to speak on something, obviously that was your partner, not mine. But from me looking outside in,
you know the story very well.
Yeah,
so.
I don't feel like he had taken responsibility to be a father. Right. I feel like from the very beginning, it was a lot of force. Like, can you do this? So when are you going to come see your child? Or when are you going? And for my situation, my kid's father has always been there, right? He's never showed me anything different.
Exactly.
So I would
that's where I think
came into the picture.
Yes.
That for my partner's sake, that he knows that my intentions for our children is that, right? It's that I want my children, whoever's going to be around my children, I don't want them to disrespect them. I want my children to feel comfortable, and I just don't want my children to feel like I'm being replaced with this woman, right? Right. I think for your situation is because he never took responsibility to be a father truly. I think that
I feel like that plays a big part in her trying to even try to meet me. Yes, because I feel like she's going off by what he is saying to her.
And Lord knows what he's saying. He could probably be saying that child's not mine. He could probably
all of that
talking to other people. These kids aren't mine, or he could say whatever. And I think that that's the difference. So everybody's situation is different. Our listeners, your situation may be different as well. But we can only speak on our situation.
Yes, but I feel as women, we need to like come more together and not go off by your emotions.
Yes.
Because I feel this lady, this female, you know, is going by off, I don't know what picture she has in her mind. Like, I am done with this dude. I don't want him. Like, I repeated many times, like, you can have him, like, he is all yours. Have, you know, have fun, get married, whatever. But I feel like maturity level speaks too. Like, as a female, we need to, like I said, we need to come together and be like, you know what? Let's be mature about it. Like, we're females. Let's get together and, you know, discuss, like, let me get to know you, you know, because obviously if my significant other at this time, you know, if I want him to be part of his kid's life, I need to, you know, as a woman, I need to know that, you know, I respect the mother of the kids.
Yeah.
And it's like all of that. I feel like,
and I think
if you're not matured enough, if you're not, I guess also if you're insecure about something, like,
I think it's
that also,
but it's also like taking yourself out of, oh, this is my man.
yes,
Right? Because I think a lot of times that's what we're doing. We're like, oh, this is my man. I'm going to support my man. I'm going to stand by my man. I don't care what she says. I don't care I don't want to talk to her because I know what you're telling me is the truth. And I think that we need to take ourselves out of that and basically say, you know what, like this is your kid's mother. Like at the end of the day, I want you to be a great father. Me being your
right,
woman, I want to uplift you and encourage you to be a great father, right? I don't want you to
right.
walk away. So if the issue is you think that your ex is confrontational, if you think your baby mother's confrontational, let me sit down with her and have a conversation with her to let her know that we just want the best for the children because that's the most important.
That's the main thing, the children.
None of this other stuff matters. So if the maturity came from her where she said that to him, like, look, I get you guys have problems, right? But you dated her, you had kids with her. So obviously you loved her at one point enough to be romantic enough with her. And so now that you're not with her, now you're bashing her. If I'm talking to somebody, if I'm talking to a dude and the guy's like, oh, my baby mother is crazy, I'm like, oh yeah, she is. Okay. But
Let me find out for myself if she's crazy.
in the back of my head, I'm like, she wasn't crazy for all those years you were with her.
Exactly.
You liked her at one point. You like her.
Don't get me wrong. There are some crazy baby mothers. There are some crazy baby daddies.
Did it, but she wasn't always crazy. What made her crazy?
Yes.
What made her crazy? What made her do those things when she was in a relationship with you? Like, and I'm not justifying what she did, but at the end of the day, it's not about that anymore. It's about the children. And so if I was dating someone and they had children with their baby mother, like I'm not going to interfere with the father doing what he has to do for the children. The time that I would interfere, okay, is if the woman is now jeopardizing, like if she's refusing for my man to see his children. She sees the children as leverage. You can't see the children because of me. Then that's when I'm gonna feel like I need to have a conversation with the baby mother because you're not hurting me. You're hurting him and you're hurting.
You see, how can you even try to have a conversation with somebody who is disrespectful to you, who continues like, you know, message you like crazy messages?
Conversation has never been had. Like a firm conversation about the kids, not anything else, just about the kids. I think that if you had a firm conversation about the kids and you guys sat there and had this conversation and it still turns out ugly, then okay, there's nothing else that you can do at this point. But I think that until you have that conversation about the children, not about me, not about my craziness, maybe I was crazy, who knows, but that's not the point. The point is these children, and these children need to see their parents. The children needs to have a healthy environment where they see both of their parents. That's what matters. So even if you need to have a mediator, have somebody that's going to be there. Don't have the man there. If it's between, you're having a conversation with her, the new girlfriend, the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend don't need to be there because he's just going to shake stuff up. He's going to stir things up where she's going to feel like she's rowdy and now she's ready to be all big and bad. No, he don't need to be there. If it could be you, her, and maybe somebody else that is maybe older even, you know what I mean? Sometimes even when it comes to custody battles, the court will provide a mediator. So even if you have the opportunity to have a mediator there, just so you know, there's no fight that's going to break out. If it gets disrespectful, you can walk away. She can walk away, whatever. But I feel like the conversation still needs to be had and an attempt needs to be made. Now, if you attempted to have a conversation and that person was like, no, I ain't having a conversation, okay, there's nothing that you can do at that point.
Yeah.
But you're going to fall into an issue where your children are going to be going over there and the conversation is not going to be had. And now you have to worry about how she or he is going to treat your kids. And for me, in my situation, you mess with my kids, we're going to have a problem. So if,
I think that's like every mother. Like, no,
so if
we
my
not.
ex, doesn't want us to be cordial and don't want me to speak to the new partner and don't like, it makes it more difficult for us. But then custody agreement says he gets the kids every other weekend. And I find out from my children that she's mistreating my kids, we're going to have a different type of a problem. And either that problem will be you will no longer see your kids, right? We'll have to go to court and I will have to, have my kids involved in the court to witness that this this lady is not treating my kids right, and the visitation has to stop, or we need supervised visitation, or my ex will have to have a conversation with her and me to ensure that this is not going to happen again.
Right.
Again, it'll be bigger problem.
Yeah. Yeah. As for me, like, if I start dating a guy who has kids, obviously, since I've been going through the situation that I'm going through, I would come more like, you know what? Let me meet, the mother of your kids. Like, I want to have a one-on-one talk. I want to get to know her. I want to explain to her, I'm not trying to take her place. I'm just here, to like help her actually with the kids, because obviously if I'm getting a relationship with this man, I'm gonna love the kids too. It's a whole package.
It's a package deal.
Yeah, so
I think that that's important, and I think that it's not what we say, it's how we say it, and I think our approach is important. I feel like text messaging is horrible because you don't really hear the emotion of the person on the other side. I think that again, you don't know what your ex have said to the person that they're dating now. And
I just feel like, how old are we to have our minds like, get influenced?
My new partner said to me, my baby mother, she did XYZ to my children, or she's never home and she's always partying or whatever.
So you would believe him?
I think I would to a certain extent. Now, if he said, "Oh, she's crazy," that's not enough validation for me to be like, "Oh yeah, she's crazy." But
no, I'm the type of person I need to know for my own.
And he starts showing me like, this is the police report.
Well, if you have proof, obviously.
Yeah, like if he starts giving me like valid, if he shows me his phone and there's 50 missed calls from his baby mother, why is she calling you so much? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that I think, I would still want to have a conversation with her, but there's still certain things that I would believe. I'm not going to, most women do. You're not going to be like, not believe your partner, especially if you're in love with this person. You're going to try to think that he's not going to lie, right? But certain things you can't take for face value.
You know what? When it comes to like the whole baby daddy drama, like I will not believe what my significant other is going to say about his baby mother, because you hear so many negative stuff that are not true. So I would not want to be in a relationship, be like, you know what? He's speaking bad about, the mother of his kids, and come to find out it's not even true.
Well, that's why I feel so stupid. Factual information, if there's facts to it, right? If she, if I'm sitting in a room with him and she calls him and he puts the phone on speaker and she's acting crazy, I might.
Okay, that's a whole different story.
So, there's certain things that, again, it will be factual information, things that I've witnessed for myself, where I can make my own judgment. But at the same time, I still would want to have a conversation with her and kind of let her know, like, look, this is for the best interest of our children, of your children. I love children. I'm not trying to take your place, but I am here.
Mm-hmm.
And I am present, and the kids are going to be around me a lot. And because of that, I want them to know that me and you are okay, and we're not enemies. I don't want you to bad talk me in front of your children. So then when they come over for the
But
weekend,
yeah,
now
but
they're
sorry to cut you, but it all comes down, like you said, depending on your ex.
yeah,
It all falls down on your ex. If you had a good breakup, like it wasn't, disaster, and you guys cordially, are separating or, divorcing, whatever, like I feel that plays a major part.
yeah.
But if you end your relationship with, your ex and it's completely terrible, everything just negative,
Mhm.
it's gonna affect their new partner because every negative stuff that happened, your ex is gonna go tell this person.
Yeah. And that's again,
So
I said that I feel like the conversation, and the women having conversations is so important. I've seen a
it
lot of
is.
stories and videos where the guy goes and cheats on his girlfriend. The girlfriend finds out and she wants to kill the girl that he
And not the
cheated
guy, not the
and
guy.
not the guy. And then she goes back and she's dating the guy like it never happened. But meanwhile, she beat the girl up, put her in the hospital, all of these things. And it's like, wait a minute, she probably didn't even know about you. And the person
Exactly.
that you really need to be at is the man, your man that you chose to lay back in bed with. So I feel like as women, we don't do each other's justice. Men could sit
Mm-mm.
there and watch the woman fight and then wait for which one is going to go back to him, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
And I just think that we have to do better as women. We have to understand that, we both were screwed. We both were hurt. We both lied to. And we also have to understand that not every relationship works. It doesn't matter why it didn't work. It just didn't work.
Honestly, I just feel like you should go talk to the female. If it goes left, okay, go left. Punch each other. Do
No.
whatever the hell y'all want to do. But no, I'm playing. No, no. Do not condone fighting, none of that violence, none of that.
This is why we do not agree. But no, I think when Angela and I had this conversation before, it definitely was like a very tense conversation because Angela was just like, I don't want to meet the girl.
No, because I feel like
The
I've
girl is
gotten
being hostile.
disrespected.
The girl is being rude through text
I
message.
think there's a
While trying to-
disrespectful level. I gotten disrespected to the max, like I feel.
And
So why do I even want to meet this girl at this point?
yeah, and I was
And you're telling me, no, you need to meet her, have a
I was,
conversation
I
with
was
her.
trying to explain to you that at the end of the day, regardless of what your interactions were, eventually your kids are going to be there every weekend. So like at the end of the day, like I was saying, put all of those emotions to the side and think about your children because your children are going to want to be the ones that have to endure being around this person 24/7.
Well, my situation is different
You're
when it
thinking
comes to
now,
kids
right
too.
now, but
So
you don't know when it's going to change. And when it changes, it might be too late to reconcile. It might be too late to say, hey, listen, look, I just want him to do what's right for the children.
at this point
I
in
don't
my
feel that-
situation, I feel like I am open to a conversation with this lady, but I feel like she needs to
excited.
mature more and grow up a little bit more.
I'm
And
excited though. I think that that's a step forward.
yeah,
So
because I need to make it clear, like, I never want her man. Like, I don't want her man.
But when you say I don't want your man, she like, what? My man is the bomb. What are you talking about? Like you just
Okay, she could have him off.
So
I mean,
it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think that a
well,
lot of times our conversations come off hostile because of how the
no, honey, I need to make it very clear to this person, if she ever hears this, I do not want her man. Because every text messages or every message that I get, it says, leave my man alone. Or, my man don't want you. Okay, we're mutual. I don't want him either.
What she has to understand is that her name is going to be in your mouth for the next 17 years, right? 16 years, because you have children. So at the end of the day, she might want you to forget that he ever existed, but it's not going to happen because when you have kids, at the end of the day, your children are there. That's a known fact. If you guys didn't have
whether you're involved in their life or not.
And if you guys didn't have children, you wouldn't probably have to mention his name ever. But the fact is, you guys have children. His child looks just like him. You have to see that person. My little my little godson. You got to see him every day, and it's a spitting image of his father. And so when he asks, "Where's my dad?" or his birthday comes by and he don't get a phone call, and you have to explain to your child why that is, yes, his name's going to be in your mouth for the next 17
Right.
whether
Right.
she likes it or whether she doesn't. So it's a part of, let's get that out. Like, I don't want him, but I know that he better do what's right for his children. I know I didn't have these children by myself. If my ex and I separate, or we get a divorce, and he starts dating someone else, and he just completely blatantly forgets about my children, my children
Mm-hmm.
are old enough to understand, like, where's daddy? Why didn't daddy come around this today? Why daddy
Right.
didn't come to my game this weekend? Why daddy didn't call me before I went to bed? Like, it's something that is going to have to be explained to my children. I'm going to have to say, well, daddy did this or daddy did that. And it's left on the
Right.
parent. And I think us as women, and not only as
Right.
but also as mothers, because if I'm a mother, and as we get older, we'll find that our new partners will be fathers, right?
Yes.
We're going to have baby mothers. The same with us, anybody that dates us going forward, we have children. So they're going to have to deal with our kids' father, our kids' mother.
Right.
And I think that that's where you say where the maturity comes in, because it's important for us to understand that that's going to happen. We're older.
Mm-hmm.
We're not teenagers anymore. We're not in
Mm-mm.
our younger 20s. And because we're older and we're mothers, we should understand that, okay, this is going to be an issue. How can I make this not an issue?
Right.
How can I make sure that this is going to go through smoothly? I don't have to be befriends with her, right? But I
Right.
do need to kind of clear the air so she knows that, look, I'm not here to hurt your kids. I'm here to be with him, and part of him is his children. That's it. You know, I'm not trying to be their mother, but me being with him means that I'm here for the kids as well. So what can we do to make an easy transition for our children?
Yeah. So I guess it all plays part. Also, it depends how involved the father is with the kids.
Yeah.
Because if the father is not involved with the kids, then why even bother reach out to the new girlfriend?
It's true,
To
because
be
then you're
honest.
just stirring up. If the father doesn't want to, and with the one, that's another thing that irritates me, and that's probably a whole nother topic. But what irritates me about that is, as a woman, as a mother, you should want your partner to be involved. If I'm dating somebody and I know he has children and he hasn't seen his children for over a month, I'm asking him, you didn't call your kids today? When is the last time you spoke to your children? Oh,
You see, but it depends on the type of person you are, one, and the type of mother you are, two. Because as for me, too, I will be on top of my significant other.
yeah.
Like, look, you remember his birthday? We need to, I would even
I would
contribute on a birthday present,
I
on
would,
a Christmas gift.
I would mail it to the house, even if we're not
Yes,
party. I'm gonna mail it to the house. I'm gonna make sure that he calls on the birthday.
exactly. So it all
Um,
depends on the female too.
I think so. I think, and that's the part that disappoints me, because I don't like to see that I'm a mother. I have my own children, but yeah, I'm not uplifting my man, because as
Right.
being in a relationship, your responsibility as the woman, the girl, whatever, the wife, whoever you want to be, your responsibility is to uplift your partner and help your partner be better. So even if
Better.
your partner don't want to, he's like, man, I ain't messing with her. You as the woman should be like, you know what? I know you don't want to deal with it. I know it's a tense situation. How can I help? How can I be of
Yes.
assistance? Because this is not right. They're growing up and you're missing out on their life. So I understand the baby mother is difficult to deal with, maybe, but like, how can I help to make sure that that doesn't happen? I can have a
Yes.
conversation with her. I can sit down with her. I can speak to her. How about this? We don't even have to speak. What's the address? I'm gonna go on Amazon right now and buy him a birthday present. Buy her a birthday present.
Yes.
And
Even though I will say there are some I'm gonna get into there's somebody an experience of someone that I know closely that I know that it's a he actually. And this person, had kids, before getting married to his current significant other.
Mhm.
And there was a point where his mother's kids try to get in contact with the current girlfriend, current wife actually, and the current wife did not want to speak to her at all, like at all. She didn't even want to communicate with her, nothing like that. So then the mother's kid was like, you know what, I'm done trying to be okay with this person, and she even tried to like not bring her son to the house of them, because she was like, you know what, if this girl doesn't want to communicate with me, she doesn't want to talk, she's being disrespectful, da da da. So then she decided, you know what, I'm gonna take my kid and not even let him go and bring him.
And that's okay. And that's what I was saying, that if you could say that you tried to do that and you attempted to have that conversation and it just got nowhere and it just got really ugly, then let the courts deal with it.
Yeah, no, but look what this person did. The man who was involved, he's a good father and he was involved in his kid's life. He was like, you know what? He told his wife, don't get in it. I'm going to have a talk with my child's mother and I'm going to set everything straight how it's supposed to be. And you don't have to get in it. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to communicate with her. So it got to that point where, you know what? He went for what he obviously is a good father. So he was like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I gotta do, but I need my son to be where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you don't have to like my wife, but at the end of the day, I'm a good father. I'm a good parent to my children, and I should not be penalized because you two as women can't get along. I'm gonna deal with it. And
so that's why I say you don't always have to, we can't always blame like the two females or whatever. It's also
definitely the common denominator is the man. The common denominator is definitely the man, but I think us as women, we do need to do better, because I think in that situation, she should have responded. She should have became a better person. And she's married. She's the wife. She has the house. She has the ring. She has all of these things. Why wouldn't she want to communicate with the baby mother? Does she still have insecurities that maybe she's not revealing? Like, what was her reason for turning down that invitation to be cordial? So again, if I feel like, he said, don't worry, I'll deal with it, but I would have checked her as well. And I would have said, look, you're my wife, we're a unit, and we need to move collectively. And whatever issues you have with her, you need to drop it, because at this point, it's affecting my relationship with my son.
Right.
So I do still think that he handled it okay, but I feel like he should have also checked his wife and not let her go in the background and be like, oh, go sit over there, I'm going to deal with it. I feel like at the end of the day, he should have said, look, I'm going to deal with this, but you also, need to support me and, understand that her son is coming here. If my child with you was going somewhere else, or my child was going somewhere else, how would that make you feel? You have to feel secure in knowing that that person is going to treat your child with love and care. And
yes, I think that's the most important thing, that that when your kids are not with you and they're where, their father or their mother, that the significant other of your ex treats them good. Because that's my main concern. If I feel like my kids are not safe,
we're concerned about that with strangers or even family and friends. Some family and friends we don't drop our kids off with. So if we're cautious,
me, when it comes to my kids, even you, like, oh, you tell me like, oh, let the oldest spend time, like, come over here, spend the weekend. I'm so overprotected with mine that it's like, it's not that I don't trust you, it's the fact that I was brought up this way. I feel like
so many things going on in the world that's the only thing to do. You might trust me, but you don't know who's in my house. Somebody could come and then God forbid something happens. So again, when it comes to the other female, it's knowing who she is and knowing that okay, I feel comfortable. And the one thing is, even if you don't feel comfortable and she sat down with you and she was cordial with you and you don't feel comfortable, at that point, you have to let it go and think that, okay, my ex is going to make sure nothing happens to his child. That's it. And, and then also with hoping the kids can communicate to come back and say, hey, this happened today. Hey, this happened. Kids will tell you if they don't want to go over there, they'll cry even if they can't talk. They'll cry and be like, no, I don't want to go over there. And you might not know why, but kids are very smart and they have a way of telling you when they feel uncomfortable in an uncomfortable space and uncomfortable environment. So
That's
that's
true.
the way as well. So I think the
Very
topic
true.
is definitely important to discuss, especially since
Yeah.
I'll be going through it soon and I'm kind of nervous. I'm probably going to be calling you like,
But in conclusion, I just want to set it out straight. In conclusion, I think it's very important for you to meet, your ex's significant other, because that's the only way you would have peace and you would actually like be able to be okay when they go with their dad or mom, whatever.
because holding your children from seeing their parents is not okay.
It's
We
not
don't
okay.
realize that it affects the child. It doesn't affect us as much, but it affects the child. And if we're withholding our
Yes.
children from seeing their parent, it's
Even
make
though that's another subject, that's another topic, because sometimes as mothers, we're now withholding our kids. It's just the other parent doesn't want to spend time with their kids or doesn't even want to be involved in their
out
kid's life.
time, absolutely. So I definitely
So,
think that, yeah, you're right. Like I think that
because I'm not going to force, I'm not going to force, for example, I'm not going to force my ex, my baby daddies, because I have two, my baby daddies to be like, come take your kids or come spend time with them. I'm not forcing that. If you don't want to be a father, that's on you. Don't be a
I'd
father.
rather you show me your colors now than to take them by being forced and then they're mistreated. So
Exactly.
I do get that. But again, I think that it's important for us not to withhold. It's one thing if, they're not coming to see the child or whatever, but don't withhold them in resentment or assumption that
No, none of that.
the person, because we could only assume what's happening in their house. We don't know. And I think that a lot of times us as women, we assume like, oh my goodness, she's mistreating my kids. Oh my goodness, he's doing this. Oh my goodness. But we really don't know what's happening unless our kids are old enough to come home and tell us what's happening. And so I think it's important that, unfortunately, we send our kids over and pray over them before they go and just hope that they're not being mistreated. If the kids come back to us and they start crying because they don't want to go over there or some type of sign,
Pay attention to all those signs, because
sign. And if they show you a sign, take them to court and kind of get visitation, but supervised visitation.
supervised.
But you still don't want to stop your children from seeing the parent. It has some mental, emotional effects as the kids get older. When they become adults, they just really have
I'm a little, I don't know. I'm a little, I don't know if I agree with you completely, because also if you like I said, like I mentioned, you can't force a parent to be a parent, right?
I agree.
And if they was to come and be like, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna take them. And then another day they're like, yeah, I'm gonna take them and get the kids ready and whatever, and they don't come. I think that's more, doesn't that affect them more? I don't know, because
I
I
think it
was,
definitely affects them. But I think that things happen, right? Like if I'm saying I'm gonna come get my kids and God forbid something happened, I had to go into
but
work.
not that something happened like that. We understand we can never guarantee a day, like,
But we can't say what's justified to happen or not. We can just
okay.
control our child's emotions the best way we can. So if it becomes a consistent pattern where they're constantly like not showing up or they're constantly, making promises they can't keep, then at that point I would say, we need
I
to.
feel like I'm the type, like, I would protect my kids, and I'm, even now, I feel I'm protecting my kids from I feel like that's toxic for my kids, and I don't want them to go through that.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be all happy and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna see my dad, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, he continues and goes, no, I'm not gonna go, or no, I'm not gonna go. And I feel like as a mother, I should be able to protect them and be like, you know what? I'd rather you not have this person at all than to have him and mess you up completely.
Yeah.
We go off.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. I think that
Yes.
because I can get into that as well because I've been there, right? My mom I never lived with my mother. My mother used to come all the time. She would make promises and I'll be sitting by the door waiting for her and she would not show up. So I definitely believe that there are some effects to it. But I also believe that, and again, this is really a tricky topic. But I believe that too, like if you're old enough to make that decision, like if I was old enough, if I'm 14, 15, and I said, look, Like, I want to still see my mother. And you're like, no, you're not going to see your mother.
Oh no, when you
Yeah.
get to that age, I feel like
You should
I'll be
be
able to like give
active
my
time.
kids that option to decide.
Yeah.
But when my kids are small,
Yeah.
I feel like it's my obligation to protect them.
Yeah. And I think at
So
this point, that's why the legal system is so important, by getting the courts involved, where you have set days and times.
we completely got off the topic.
Yes, it is off the topic. This is a whole nother topic we're gonna discuss
Yes.
later. But the question at hand was, when you have children, would you allow your ex? Do you feel like you need to communicate with your ex's significant other? And we both agree, yes.
Yes.
It's very important. We need to know who our children are going to be around. We need to try to make it a safe environment for them as much as we can.
Yes.
And I think we could just take it from there. So, guys, let us know if you agree, if you disagree, if you have a situation like this at hand. Let us know in the comments below, inbox us. Also, if you have any topic discussions that you would like us to go over, please send them over to us. We've had somebody send us some, and we're so grateful for them. But we definitely would like for you guys to send us some topic suggestions, because we don't want to just.
And even if you want us to discuss a topic, send it before. Usually we air it out on Mondays. Send it before Monday, and we will be gladly to discuss.
If you would like to be a guest on our podcast, we would love to have you. We had Artina here last week. We were so grateful for her.
Yes.
We had such a great time. We recorded like 3 hours of content, but we only released like 1 hour. So we just had such a great time. And this week we're actually having a guy come on to our podcast, and we're not going to say his name yet, but we're so excited for him. It's always good to have different perspectives, on the show. We have females, and this is not just like a male bashing podcast.
No.
We are only giving our experience, but we're so happy to have a male come on next week that is able to give us his experience in these things. Okay. So that's all I have. Is that all you have?
That's all I have.
Okay. My children are getting loud. I don't know if you hear, but until next time, this is The Real and Raw with Tasha
and Angela.
And
until next time.
Bye.
Bye.